and welcome back to BookTube with Amy. Today is going to be the next instalment of my sustainable book box unboxing. So this month we went for a company called A Box of Stories, and they send 4 books to, well, me in this case, but anyone who would sign up. And again, you get to pick your genre. The different genres come in at different price points, and you basically just get the 4 books and that's your lot. I, to keep it in line with all my other boxes, have picked YA fantasy, so that's what we have went for today. Now, when I originally purchased this box and when I was looking into it, this one did come up as a sustainable book box when I was searching for different ideas. And this is a box that people had recommended to me as well, that they've seen some other booktubers get. But actually, on further digging, the books in here aren't used. These are new books, and while they are trying to save them for being pulped by, you know, sending them out to people through these book boxes, they still aren't used books. Like, they have purchased them new to send them out, and so while they're helping save waste, I don't feel like it has that much an environmental impact. But we'll look at what we've received anyway. So this is how it comes. Squigglies. Let's have a nosy and see what we've got. Oh, so we've got The Beckoning Shadow by Catherine Blair. Now, I just saw a Game of Fangs and Thrones talk about this in a book haul. So this actually sounds quite decent. I was interested in this when I saw her talk about it. So I am pleased with this one, actually. We then have Jess Vallance, You Only Live Once. So I haven't actually heard of this one, but it says for fans of Geek Girl, and I believe that to be quite a popular YA series. This one sounds quite young for me. I don't know if this is something that I would necessarily enjoy. It might be something that I would pass on to perhaps Simon's little cousin or something like that. It might be more her age range than mine. I know I did pick the YA box, but I feel like this is sort of for your younger side of the teenage girl. I am obviously not the younger side of the teenage girl spectrum anymore, much to my dismay. And then I have received Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. This sounds like a YA fantasy, which could be up my street. And then lastly, I've received Arctic Zoo by Robert Muchamore. And so this is a YA thriller, which actually sounds like it could be quite interesting and up my street, so I would be interested in giving this one a go. So 3 out of the 4 books sound quite interesting to me, which is not bad at all. So I'm just going to read you the backs of these ones quite quickly, because I don't have anything else to show you, because this is all we get in the box. So I feel like I need to feature the books as much as I would feature some of the other products in the other videos. So this one says, it isn't easy to change the world, but you've got to keep trying. Georgia gets straight A's at school and has been placed first in 26 drone races and has a serious addiction to buying Japanese stationery. She plans to follow her older sister Sophie and become a doctor, but her worldview is shattered when tragedy strikes. Julius lives in Ondo, a Nigerian state where half of the population lives on less than $1 a day, but he isn't one of them. His uncle has been state governor for more than a decade, and his mother is the power behind that throne. He finds refuge in a derelict zoo with his best friend Duke, but as the two of them grow close, the world outside becomes more and more hostile. Following 2 teenagers living very different lives, Arctic Zoo is an arresting thriller about protest, sexuality, mental health and flawed leadership from the best-selling author of Cherub. So that actually does sound really interesting. I think that that could be something that would be up my street. I'm definitely going to give this one a go. Then this one says, trained at Miss Preston's School for combat in both weaponry and etiquette, Jane McKean is poised for a successful career protecting the wealthy from her encroaching plague of the walking dead. But when families begin to go missing, Jane uncovers a conspiracy that pits her against some powerful enemies sent far from home. Jane will need all her resourcefulness, wit and strength of character to survive. A powerful, compelling tale of a young woman's journey through a hostile world. Jane McKean is an unforgettable protagonist and Dread Nation is an unforgettable book. So again, sounds like a bit of a generic YA fantasy, but something that I would maybe pick up if I saw it in a charity shop or something like that. Then this one says, I have a deadly tropical disease. It will probably kill me before the summer is over, or maybe not. After an embarrassingly dramatic self-diagnosis, Gracie realises she is not in fact about to die. She also realises there is more to life than sitting in her bedroom and studying. Life is happening now, and Gracie decides to stop worrying and start living. Boring Gracie is gone, exciting, carefree Gracie is here. So, like I says when I opened this, I don't think that this is a me book. I think that this will definitely get passed on to a younger reader. I don't have any interest in this one whatsoever. And then The Beckoning Shadow by Catherine Blair. Vesta Montgomery can summon your worst fear and turn it into a reality, but she's learned the hard way that it's an addicting and dangerous power. One wrong move and you could hurt someone you love. But when she learns to spot in the tournament of the unravelling, where competitors battle it out for a chance to rewrite the past, Vesper finally has a shot to reverse the mistakes that have changed her forever. She turns to Sam Hardy, a former MMA fighter who is also carrying a tragedy he desperately wants to undo. However, helping heal Sam's heart will mean breaking her own, and the competition forces her to master her powers and the powers she's been terrified of since they destroyed her life. I think that by far out of the 4 books, this is the one that sounds the most up my street, so I'm very pleased to have this, because like I say, I was interested in it when I heard somebody else talking about this in a recent book haul. So let's chat categories then. So for price, I paid $24.99 for this, which I feel is a bit steep, especially compared to some of the other boxes that we've gotten. All I received in this box was the 4 books, and while I get that they were 4 new books, so if I was to go out to a bookshop I would be paying over $24.99 for 4 new books. Totally get that. But I am not in it for the new books. Like, I was going into this thinking that they were going to be 4 used books, so the fact that they are new doesn't bother me at all. I don't really want to purchase new books. It wasn't the intent of this series, therefore I'm going to have to score it low for the fact it was $24.99. I'm going to give it a 2 in terms of the price. I think that I've had much cheaper boxes that have been far better than this. For quality, I mean, I feel like there's not really a lot to chat about in here. I had heard one of the 4 books that I received, I'd heard somebody else talk about it. The other 3 I have not heard of, and I've not heard any of the authors. I haven't seen any reviews of any of the books, so I can't comment on whether they are well-known bestsellers or anything like that. There's nothing to indicate that they are. However, it does say in the Box of Stories website that they try to use books that are rated highly by their reviewers and by reviewers in general, but just because other people review a book highly doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to enjoy it. And so I think for quality, I mean, I need to give it a 3. The books were in good nick because they are obviously new, but it's not really what I was going into it for, and there's one of these books that I definitely will not read, so if I've received 4 books and I'll read 3 of them, I think it's fair that I would give it a 3 in terms of quality. For luxury, I don't feel like I've treated myself. Haven't really had the same excitement opening this box as I have for some of the other ones in the past. There was nothing additional, there was no wee surprises or anything like that. It was just the 4 books, and I think that I've had far more luxurious boxes, which makes me feel like I'm treating myself, which was again one of the points of the series. So this is one of the most important categories I feel in my rating system. I'm going to rate it a 2 for luxury. I'd feel poor giving it a 1 because I have got 4 books, whereas compared to some other boxes I've maybe only had 1 or 2. So I think I do need to give it a 2, but they could have done so much more to make this box a wee bit more exciting. And then the biggest category, sustainability. I don't feel like this box is particularly sustainable, to be honest. Like I say, it's marketed like, oh, you're helping like save these books from being pulped, blah blah blah, like, which I totally get. And there was another book box that I'm sure had like similar marketing, but their books were used, whereas I've just received 4 new books when I make it a real effort to try and no purchase new books. And I feel like that's quite far down on their page, like when you're on their website and you're reading through the stuff, because it makes it sound like you're really helping save the planet by buying these 4 books, when in fact you're not, like, no really at all. The packaging I think was reasonable in proportion to the books. None of them were individually wrapped, and all the packaging on it is recyclable, so I'm going to give it a 1 for sustainability. So overall this box gets an 8, which is on the lower side of things. It's been a wee bit a disappointment. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying everything that you're reading at the moment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!